Kids, you want to take a trip? Well, let's go to Vegas. Now at Cleveland Hopkins International Airport, from the parking shuttle to the airport, you get to walk along this covered walkway. Of course, it's raining here in Northeast Ohio for our trip to Vegas, but what can you do? Believe it or not, this airport was built in 1925, making it 98 years old, although the passenger building was built in the 70s and renovated for the Republican National Convention in 2016. Most of the terminals were built between the 50s and 60s and renovated again in the 80s and 90s. She may not be much to look at from the basement. You get to ride these two escalators to the top to get to the passenger check-in area. What I do appreciate about the airport is how easy she is to navigate. As you come to the top of this second escalator, you're met with several options as far as TSA checkpoints. Those options include options for all passengers at the north and south entrance and a central checkpoint for TSA pre-check and clear. One of the perks of some premium travel credit cards is the ability to have priority pass access, and that in Cleveland includes the Club CLE, a place where folks can have a little bit of free food and drink, relax, spread out, and when the lighting's just right, have a little bit of a chance to watch some planes out on the tarmac. Without any time to waste, we get on board our Spirit Airlines Airbus A320 direct flight to Las Vegas, Nevada. And thanks to our friends at Flight Radar 24, we can see the flight path of our Spirit Airlines flight to Las Vegas as we head across the western United States at an altitude of 36,000 feet with an expected arrival in about 4 hours and 20 minutes. Now on our taxi out to the runway, I do believe we hit every pothole on the tarmac. So it's good to see that the airport roads are consistent with the roads that we have around Cleveland the rest of the year. Now we take a moment to appreciate the power of those Pratt & Whitney engines. Let's go to Vegas. The ride on the ground was bumpier than anything we hit in the air. By some stroke of luck, I got to sit up front, but more on that later. But sitting up front in a true first-class seat does come with some perks, such as you have a tray table that comes out of your armrest. And any chance you get to play with that, I mean, who could resist? It's a decent-sized tray table, enough to spread out and actually get some work done if you are so inclined. First class does not come with anything complimentary on Spirit, but they do have a full assortment of drinks, both alcoholic and non-alcoholic, as well as snacks available for purchase. Spirit crams 175 seats into this Airbus A320 with only 29 inches of legroom in the back. had a lot more than that up front. I've had the chance to get out of the airport and settle into my hotel room here at what was formerly known as Bally's Hotel and Resort, now the Horseshoe Casino and Resort on the Las Vegas Strip. Let's talk a little bit about Spirit Airlines. Spirit is one of the three major ultra low-cost carriers here in the United States, the other two being Allegiant and Frontier. And Spirit's been in the news a bit lately. About 6 to 9 months ago, there was word that Frontier was making a play to merge with Spirit, which would have formed by far the largest ultra low-cost carrier in the country. Some folks were excited about that aspect, others not so much. But JetBlue swooped in at the last minute, making an appeal directly to Spirit shareholders that resulted in JetBlue's offer being accepted over Frontier's. But at the time of this video, Spirit operates as its own independent airline because the deal with JetBlue is undergoing Department of Justice review. They have to sign off on such a deal due to monopoly concerns. But Spirit's a unique airline. Almost 4 years ago to this date, I flew them direct from Cleveland to New Orleans. That flight was between 2 and 2.5 hours, so I sat in the back of the bus for that particular flight and had no issues whatsoever. This time around, flying to Vegas, it's about a 4.5-hour flight. Had a significant headwind coming out today, so I knew it would be a bit longer. Price-wise, their base fares are cheaper than legacy carriers, but they do charge you for everything on board, everything except the oxygen, pretty much. It made sense on such a long flight to me to upgrade with a package deal for a carry-on bag and seat selection. So I had selected the seat in an exit row, give me some extra leg room. That brought the cost to a hair under $200, which was almost identical to what the legacy carriers were charging, except they all had a layover. Spirit, direct flight. Got to skip a night in a hotel, which to me, always worth it. Then a week before the flight, Spirit sent out an email asking folks to bid on any open big front seats. The big front seat is the first 2 rows in Spirit, 8 seats total. They are true domestic first class reclining sofa-like seats, exactly what you would find on these legacy carriers. And you could bid anywhere from $70 up to $400. If you paid outright for them, at the time when I looked, they were over $300. So I put a bid of $70 in, figuring if I could get it for that, then sure, I'd be happy to fly across the country for $70 extra. Lo and behold, overnight, when I woke up this morning bright and early for my trip, I found out my bid had been accepted. So I got to ride in the very first seat of the bus today. 35 inches of legroom compared to the 29 inches in the regular economy seats. They were on time. The staff was some of the best flight crews that I've ever seen, as far as they all got along. They seemed genuinely happy to be with each other, and it was just a really nice way to go across the country. So well done, Spirit. I would certainly fly you again. I'm not sure if it's over 2.5 hours, if I'd cram myself in the back, but for today, a job well done.